What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Rip City Rundown podcast. We're running a little two-man action today, a little pick and roll. Just forget what I just said, but no
No, I
Cody
love it.
today.
I
No
love
Cody.
it.
It's just me and West. We have just finished watching the Blazers drop their first game of the in-season tournament to the Utah Jazz. So they dropped a 1-1 in the tournament. They lose 115-99. Injuries are just ravaging this team right now. When a guy that I had never heard of until watching the game tonight in Justin Bouye, Jamal Bouye, actually not sure his name, but
Proving your point.
that hairline was not something I want to see again. But what were your thoughts on tonight's game? Because you wanted to start this podcast early because that was some ugly basketball in the fourth quarter.
Well, I think if the followers or if the listeners of this podcast would like to go to your Twitter feed, I think you summed it up pretty well. We just have flat out worse players than the
I
other team,
mean, we
which
play
is
hard.
true. It's true. Yeah, we played hard. We play hard. Jabari Walker was getting on the floor. Tamani Kamara always seems to be making a winning type play. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the Blazers just are severely lacking in talent, as they really already did before the injuries. And now, even with Brogdon, with Scoot, with Ant, with Robert Williams, with all these guys out, and you see Duop Arith shooting a grenade with one on the clock from 35. It's tough to score that way. It really is tough to score.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
bad game.
pardon for what it's Jamari Bouye.
Get it right.
He played some bad basketball tonight. I think a very important thing from tonight is Toumani Camara had his first career start. He started over Matisse Thybulle tonight. Played 26 minutes, and he was one of the bright spots tonight. I do think tonight was a great DeAndre Ayton game, especially in the first half. He was money from the mid-range. He ends with 22 and 10. Shaedon Sharpe struggled tonight, especially shooting the ball. He was 4-16 from the field, 2 of 10 from three. But even in an
CJ
off
Knight.
night, he's still CJ Knight. That's funny. Even in an off night, he still had 8 rebounds and 7 assists. And I think again, that's something we want to see from Sharpe. We want to see him be more than a scorer. So I think he impacted the game in positive ways. But when he made a bad play, it was really bad. I'm not sure the turnovers by him. It was 3 turnovers, so nothing crazy tonight. But yeah, that fourth quarter was just atrocious basketball. I want to see if I can get it right. What was the scoring?
Dude, I feel like this is
We
like
only scored 13 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I feel like it's every game where we're like kind of in it. We just go on like a 5 to 8 minute stretch of just no buckets.
Yeah.
And we were missing free throws, and the Jazz crowd was getting hyped because they were getting free food. Kevin and Lamar were going on about how they looked he said the crowd looked hangry. Pretty funny.
I will say these in-season tournament games, I don't know how much we've talked about it, if we really talked about it that much in the last podcast, but like I think it's got a lot of juice. Like I find
What did you think of the
myself
court?
so hard. I think the court's cool. I think it gives a different vibe. I think it makes you feel like there's something important, especially when the trophy's in the middle. I think they should do that for every single time a trophy's on the line, like for the finals. The finals,
Right, bring that back.
Even for the conference finals, they have a conference finals trophy now. Do that, like make it different.
Yeah, I mean, you have
I feel like that's something you see a lot in uh baseball, like the playoffs. They'll have like behind home plate, they'll have the big painted out like World Series logo, and even sometimes on the mound they have that. And same goes with like jersey patches in college football for bowl games or something like that. So I'm a huge fan of the in-season tournament, and I think I'm especially a fan because this team is not good, and I know they're not going to make the playoffs. This is like, I think you could look back at the season and say we made a semifinal run in the in-season tournament. You could be like, well, we were bad, but we showed bright spots when we were trying to play meaningful basketball, and we made a semifinal run. And I heard Kevin and Lamar talking about how they think the winner should get an automatic play-in spot, which would be interesting. I don't know how I feel about that, but
I think it would be a good thing. I don't know. Let's talk about that. I was going to bring that up to you. I think they should. I think that for teams such as the Blazers, or even like maybe playoff teams like the Thunder, for example, even like solid teams, when you kind of get like a guaranteed play-in spot, I don't know. I mean, Originally they said playoff spot, but then you have to, deal with our team's going to even like give a crap following the in-season tournament. So I kind of like having that as an incentive. In terms of the court, I have a theory
Are
that
you
the
talking
court.
Blazer specific court or just in general the theme of the court?
I was really talking about the Jazz court tonight, but honestly, in general, because there are some loud courts like just popping with color, which is cool. I have a theory that they look much cooler in person than on TV.
It
I think
does
like
kind of look like they're playing on a green screen.
it does, and like tonight, the purple jerseys on the purple court, like I was just tough. It was a little tough. It was a lot of purple, and I went to Clemson. And it was a lot of purple though. I don't know. Do you have any like? Actually, did you see the Blazers? They're in Group A for the in-season tournament. Like everyone's just not good, and they're like the Lakers are the best team at 5-5 in Group A. Like it's just a weak
Yeah.
division.
Which you wouldn't have thought that prior to the season.
No, like Suns are 4-6.
Yeah.
Jazz, Blazers, Grizzlies. Quick side note. Quick what do you call it? I don't know. Yeah, quick side note. Did you see Draymond put Rudy in that headlock? What the heck?
That was insane. Hey, you want to know something that's interesting to note about that?
Rudy was flopping too. He was like,
We want the Warriors to suck this year. We have their first round pick this year.
"Hey, I'd be down.
I think it's from the holiday trade.
I'd be down for Draymond to get suspended for 10 games."
Yeah. Curry. Wait, no. Curry's hurt. Curry's literally hurt right now. He sprained his knee.
But they're up on the T-Wolves. Yeah, no, we need the Warriors to not be. We need them to miss the playoffs. That would be ideal.
If we somehow lucked into 2 lottery picks, then that would be.
Joe Cronin, I love you.
Yeah. Are there any? There is a guy I want to talk about because he just got a new contract with the Blazers. But before, is there any more just kind of micro takeaways from this specific game before we kind of get into the past week and as a whole?
Yeah, you touched on Shaedon. Maybe not shooting the ball well, but having impact in the rebounding category, the assist category. I've noticed something is every time we're on a fast break, Shaedon's the last guy they want to throw the ball to, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, dude, that
I can count on 2 hands how many times I've already witnessed this year. Shaedon is running, literally just pointing up or just holding his hands out, and we're throwing the ball to Duop or Reith.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the pass to Shaedon on that fast break would have been really tough. But man, that play had some great build-up. This is still when it's a close game. Jabari gets on the floor, gets it, gives it to Mays, who just does kind of just like an unnecessary behind the back, but it looked super cool because he kept it tight. And then you got running down your left, you got Shaedon asking for a lob, and on the right, you got Mr. Baby Giraffe, Wrecking Ball, Duop Reith. Just feed me. He honestly looks like Bismack Biyombo or something. And of course, Mays decides to feed it to him and just threw the hands.
Well, I'll say this. I feel like they're scared almost to throw the lob just because they think they can't make a pinpoint pass. So they're just going to take the easy.
You need to. Shaedon can get it from anywhere.
Exactly. And that's pretty much what I had to say about the game tonight. Honestly, good segue into, talking about Skylar Mays and Duop Reith in the Lakers game. I didn't really watch that game much. I assume you didn't as well because it was a late Sunday nighter.
It was a late one, we kind of have to make smart decisions these days.
Skylar
not that good.
Yeah. Skylar had 15 and 12 in that game.
Duop Reith a monster.
Duop Reith had 11 on 3 of 8 from 3. And I mentioned this in my little show that I'm doing these days.
What's that called?
Waking Up with West. It's on this channel. You guys should check it out.
You haven't checked it out.
Can I plug that?
Go ahead and give it a quick plug.
I'll give it a quick plug. So we're 2 episodes in. I'm coming out with these episodes Tuesday mornings, Friday mornings.
We're talking morning for you West Coast people.
They're coming out
school.
I'm on the East Coast. They're coming out at 9 a.m. So you guys can do the time zone math there. But we're talking Blazers a little bit, don't want to dive in too much into Portland because we have this podcast. But, right now we're talking a lot about the Ducks and what they need to do to bring a national championship to the Pacific Northwest. And then really, usually Tuesdays, I usually talk about the NFL. Fridays, we'll talk about the NBA. But it's kind of another show where I have an opportunity on this channel to discuss things outside the Blazers, because as we know, the Blazers are not going to be very good this year. And plus, we have other interests. We have other opinions in other sports, and the Ducks, are a good local team. I even mentioned some Beaver talk. I went to Clemson. The Beavers are in Oregon. The little DJ connection, maybe. By the way, Oregon
Beefs to the
State,
playoffs.
Oregon State, no, they have 2 losses, but Oregon State and Washington is going to be a game. Oregon
Washington's
State's favored.
Yeah, I saw that.
Oregon State's favored.
Or that's what I meant. Oregon State's
Yeah,
favored.
yeah. That was like 1 when I looked. But anyway, that's the new show. But back to my point is when I was talking about on Waking Up with Wes that a cool little silver lining about this season is guys like Skylar Mays, guys like Duop Reith are given opportunities to showcase what they're about. And I know it sounds like oh wow, you're just a glass half full, overly optimistic, guys. But there is something cool in a tough season, seeing Skylar Mays at 15 and 12. Good for him. Duop Reith, 11 points on 3 threes. Nice. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it does kind of stink that Skylar is just another guard, because we tend to just we're just good at finding guards. I mean, obviously I think that's a little easier to find in the NBA because the odds of finding a good basketball player at 6'2" is easier than one at 6'9". I mean, just the odds of finding a human at 6'2" is higher than finding a human at 6'9".
Yeah, exactly.
So that makes sense. But I do think that the positive play of Skylar Mays could be kind of a little more of a what's the word, like insurance, and a little more of like just a good guy to have, especially, and it gives you more of like what is the word, like not more of a reason, but
I don't know.
It's a little more. It feels a little more safe if you want to deal Brogdon at the deadline,
right?
Like you're just gonna now go with a bunch of young guys. Even though Skylar's young, he plays like a vet.
In the same vein,
he's literally Brogdon.
Yeah, in the same vein of thing I was saying, he's kind of like the perfect guy for a stealth tank.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's good enough to get you numbers, but he's not getting 15 and 12 on a playoff team. Similar to Shane Sharp is probably not going for 8 rebounds, 7 assists on a fully loaded Blazer team, just because you have other guys.
Like again, injuries are a big part of this. I mean, it's either you're giving Sharp 20 minutes, you're either giving Sharp 40 minutes, or you're giving Bouye 35. Like, I would rather give it to Sharp.
The bare bones lineup right now.
Playing Sharp a lot of minutes.
Hey, as long as he stays healthy, knock on wood.
Yeah. Speaking of healthy,
I need him to get minutes.
I think it's time to talk about the health. Obviously, Robert Williams is out for the year. Last podcast, we were speculating if he was going to get the season-ending surgery or if he was going to get the cleanup surgery. He went with the season-ending surgery, so he'll be out for the year. Be very interested to see kind of what his future is with the Blazers going forward, because the last big man that dealt with injuries on our team, we ended up just letting them walk. I'm not positive.
You're talking about Festus Ezeli, right?
I was not talking about this. Wow, Festus. I forgot he was on the Blazers. Did he ever even suit up?
No.
But yeah, Zach Collins is who we were talking about. Obviously, Scoot, he is still out. He'll be out for another, I guess, at this point, week and a half at a minimum. Brogdon, haven't really heard anything from him. It's a hamstring, so that can be lingering, especially for an older player. And also, I think this is just another example of just go ahead and stack up the losses early.
Well, I mean, with Brogdon, you have to remember that he's a guy who is probably not going to be on this team long term. And so why would you play him maybe through a little knock or a little, 50-50 injury when you'd rather him be fully healthy. And then, if you lose, you lose. That's kind of the grand scheme of things here.
Yeah. And then what is the other injury? Oh, Ant, obviously.
That felt like honestly, freaking forever ago.
I mean, he'll be out until mid-December probably. I just hope he's back for the time we're watching some games.
Do you remember the play when he got hurt? Because I don't.
No, I don't at all.
I'm so confused. I mean, obviously it's a legit injury, but it just sucks. Like, I don't know. Injuries are just a part of sports, and it's really all I can say about that. I mean, sometimes you get quote unquote lucky when it comes to injuries, and sometimes you just I don't know. Like the Robert Williams one, you could say is unlucky, but he has a track record. So
I
I'm
mean,
I'm
the
for
first
the
year
season
run,
ending. I'm for the season ending surgery, honestly, because
same.
I don't think him logging mileage on his knees for a lost season like this was already going to be really makes
I
the
agree. I agree with that fully. I think the only downside is just in the event that I don't know. Cronin said he traded for him with no intention of flipping him, like he wants him for the future. Who knows if he was being serious or not?
yeah.
Um,
I mean, if they
but
flip, well, I don't think that I don't know why you would flip him now. I don't think his value has gone
well,
up
yeah,
since.
no, at this point you can't, obviously with his injury.
Right.
Um,
So
so
yeah, won't be flipping him. I mean, if you flip him after the 2025 season, if after he had a good year, I feel like it kind
no,
of
yeah,
defeats the
I'm
purpose.
basically at this point it's either just he's a part of your team for the long term for sure, as
I think
long
he
as he
is.
stays healthy, or you're moving on in the summer just because you don't want to deal with it. But
He provides a very unique
he's just the
presence.
perfect backup big. I don't think he's
I mean, you
even
just play
though
him like 18 minutes a game.
when he was starting, he literally last year was a defensive player of the year candidate.
Mm-hmm.
I think his best role is like having that 20 to 22 minutes off the bench because he's best when he has energy and he's good at playing at spurts. But
Exactly.
unfortunately, it's not something we'll get to see this year. So that stinks. I'm just ready for Scoot to come back because it's officially gotten to the point where even though Scoot has been terrible so far, I still would rather see him be terrible than a guy that has no future on this team
Booyah.
like Bouye. And again, no shots at Bouye, but like I genuinely had never heard of him until tonight. And maybe that's my fault. I should be knowing more, especially having a Blazer podcast. But like, I don't think people will be
But
getting too mad at me for
regardless
that.
if you know him well or not, the fact of the matter is you drafted Scoot like number three.
And
That he is the season.
we just need more creation on the floor because I mean, at this point, if Jeremy Grant isn't on the floor, like there was a point where
Grant
Matisse
doesn't
Thybulle was the second best creator on the floor tonight, and
Jeremy Grant
that's just
doesn't
ugly.
create. Jeremy Grant doesn't create. So
Create a form of good offense,
no,
and
but
his
that's like
ISO
that.
is good offense.
Like my that's my point. Your best creator is someone who
Yeah,
doesn't pass. Really,
yeah. So
Michael Porter Jr. White.
I would just, and honestly, when Ant comes back, we're gonna think he's the second coming of Damian Lillard probably because the level of basketball we're playing right now compared to what he'll play is moon. It's moons apart. It's moons.
Moons, dude. I've been using that phrase a ton. Just
Really.
yeah, dude. Last time Penn State won a big game moons ago. Moons ago.
Yeah. Um.
Sorry, that was a sidebar. Tangent is the word I was looking for a while ago, by the way.
I was
Got
gonna
it.
say something.
Something about Anthony Simons being the second coming of Damian Lillard.
No, it was
How bad this
a
team is
lot
currently.
earlier. Something a lot earlier.
Oh, maybe it was about like Shaden or something. Or Tease. Tease had a good game tonight, I thought. Tease has been a solid vet. I'm
I think we
curious what
glossed over Kamara starting.
maybe
Is
a
that
little bit, but I mean
which is still insane because
Kamara, Thibault, potatoes. I mean,
honestly,
it's you know, they both are good defenders. Thibault's obviously a little more savvy and a veteran presence, but Kamara's the guy who you
oh,
need to see.
I know what I was gonna say.
He knows what he was
Kind
going
of
to say.
off topic from the Blazers, but
Ah,
the Rip City Remix had their first game.
oh, that's what you're going to say. Nice, cool.
Did you
I
see
heard,
their
I saw we
jerseys?
won. We won.
The jerseys are kind of sick. Like, not gonna lie,
Like a
Rip City Remix merch looks a lot cooler than Trailblazers merch,
really?
just straight up. But yeah, Duop played in that game and he went crazy. So we called him up, hit 3 threes, and then can't catch a pass on a fast break.
I know what I was going to say as well. Speaking of Duop, he had the 11 points, 3 for 8 from three against the Lakers. So I was kind of like recapping that game on Waking Up with Wes, and the Lakers, the Lakers shot 37 free throws and we shot 9. But what do you expect? It's the Lakers. It's just
Again,
like the bubble.
honestly,
Just like the bubble.
I am not going to complain about referees about wins or losses at all.
No, I'm not. But
Other
when
than these
there's a
in-season tournament games, because again, like I'm finding myself really enjoying the in-season tournament.
Okay, the Lakers. First of all, the Lakers game was not an in-season tournament game.
No, I
So
know.
I don't know
That's
what the
why I don't care
in-season
about that.
tournament. Okay, so so you
Like
would get
I'm saying,
mad.
like
Oh,
I'm a little disappointed that we folded and just bent over backwards and just took it from this Jazz team tonight in the fourth.
nice. No, I mean I don't care either. I didn't really watch the Lakers game. I'm
Yeah,
glad I didn't because
that is interesting though.
I didn't want to see an 80 free throw parade.
Oh yeah,
But
there was no Bron in that game either.
right, but 28 free throws on the discrepancy is wild.
Yeah.
And the Blazers are also like have been making it a point to attack the rim this year. So we've been shooting a lot of free throws, but the Lakers just I don't know. I feel like they're always at the line.
All right. So how does this in season tournament work? Is it one team moves on from each group?
Yeah, so it's one team from each group and two wild cards.
Okay. So how do I
No. One team from each group and one wild card because that would be four.
NBA in season? Wait, there's only three groups.
ABC, yeah. There's 5 teams in each group, 15 teams in the conference.
Oh, there's a Western Conference and an Eastern Conference in season tournament. Oh, 8 teams total move on. I thought it went straight to the semifinals for some reason.
Yeah. No, 4 from each conference.
Okay, so the Blazers probably won't move on, but you never know. Let's see standings. Okay, because I want to see if there's a chance
You're
we
kind of
can
into
move on
this.
from this.
You're kind of into this, huh?
I am. So we're 1-1. And
Yep.
point differential matters too. The Jazz are 2-0 now. So, folding at the end of that game kind of sucked. We play the Lakers on Friday, who are 1-0. So we beat them.
Is that an in-season tournament game on Friday?
That is an in-season tournament game on Friday at home. And then we have another one on the next Tuesday at the Suns. So looks like
Ooh, that would be a
we're on the
good.
table here.
That's next Tuesday.
Yes.
Ooh, we might have to record this podcast after that game because I'd love to see a little Nurk game. And so hopefully we win. We can just slander.
Facts.
I'm kidding.
Aiden revenge game, but yeah, okay, we're probably not moving on.
No, we never were.
But that would have been so fun. Like, give me some juice from this season. I
Yeah,
want something.
going to the playoffs is also fun, but we're not doing that.
Well, yeah, but like,
Also, the thing is that like these like good teams, like the Suns, for example, can't just like they can't. I mean, they could, but no one's gonna like load manage these games because they're still like regular season games.
no,
Like
yeah.
the Blazers aren't just gonna like win the Mickey Cup here because everyone else is sitting.
Man, it's just imagine making it to the semis in Vegas, man. It's a big deal.
You know who's going to Vegas? The Ducks, baby. Sorry.
Vegas Ducks.
I think that's
Pac-12
actual championships there.
Yeah.
Cash
Got to get through the Arizona State game, though. I saw a highlight. You want to know the 2 players that single-handedly destroyed Oregon in 2019 on a 3rd and 16 with 4 minutes left, up 3? What quarterback threw it to what wide receiver to beat the Ducks?
Jaden Daniels.
Jaden Daniels to Brandon Ayuk.
Okay, well, one is the best receiver for one of the best teams, and the other's in the SEC now. And Arizona State sucks. Although Washington only beat them without an offensive touchdown.
Yeah.
We are 22.5-point favorites, though.
I don't care. I mean,
but no, we are.
We always lose.
If you looked up in the dictionary the definition of a letdown spot, this is what it would be.
It's literally what it is.
Road game against a bad
You're telling
team
me Oregon State can't backdoor away to the playoff?
with 2 losses now.
2 losses, I know. But are you taking a 1-loss Louisville or 2-loss Oregon State? Both are champions of their conference.
I mean, Oregon State's better, but you kind of have to take Louisville.
No.
If they beat Florida State,
Oregon State, Washington's only loss and Oregon's second loss. That's a resume right there. And a win over Utah.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Is if Oregon State is the hypothetical number 4 here, who's ahead of them?
So we got undefeated Georgia.
Okay.
Undefeated
Ohio State. Okay.
Undefeated Florida State. Texas loses 2 more games.
Texas still has to play.
They would take 1 loss Ohio State over
1 loss Michigan.
or one loss Michigan over 2 loss. They would take
No,
the
they
loser.
wouldn't because of the scandal. No, they wouldn't.
Okay, well, say
I
it
feel
was.
like the being a conference champion holds I don't know how much weight it holds, to
Well,
be
that's why
honest.
when they get to the 12-team playoff, I mean, you're automatically in if that's the case. The 12-team playoff would be great for this year.
All I'm saying is for the Oregon fans watching this, just imagine how poetic it would be if it's in the last year of the conference, a Pac-12 team wins, and that Pac-12 team is led by a quarterback who said he couldn't do it in the SEC, and then he hands Georgia's first loss in like years in the national championship game. Wouldn't that
And
be
wins the
something?
Heisman.
That's cherry. That's cherry
Who
on
is
top.
he is now the betting favorite at -125 to win the Heisman.
Is he actually?
Yeah.
Bo's the betting favorite.
Yeah.
Was he like 2 weeks ago? Like
Yeah, like
plus 8,000 or something?
not 8,000, like
Or 4,000?
something like that. He was like
Dude,
plus 2,000 to start the year.
I was watching an interview with Dan Lanning today, and he pumps me up so much. I almost put a future on Ducks to win the Natty. Sorry,
Don't take advice from us, boys.
guys. If you are still watching this, but you're like,
If you
why
are
are we talking about
if you are an
Blazers?
OG of the TikTok, who remembers best bets with West or something like that?
Wow. No, I was gonna say if you're
Player
watching,
props.
if you're watching this podcast right now, and you are like, why aren't they talking about the Blazers? Let me ask you a question. Would you rather talk about the Ducks or the Blazers?
Please tell me what you want to talk about, guys. We're all ears. Well,
Hey,
actually, we're not.
hey, speaking of, you want to come on the show Friday since we'll be together?
Uh,
It'd be Thursday night.
record Thursday night. I mean, I could probably be on the show.
You could probably
we could
slide
do
that in your schedule or something.
Do a little pack. We could do some packs for the weekend.
You could. I wanted to do that, but it was the inaugural show, and I didn't want to get too freaky. Which, by the way, in the show, I said I'm definitely taking Ole Miss with the points. Got smoked.
It's fine. What did I look at this week?
Let's tie this back to not Portland, to the Blazers, and wrap it up.
Never take points with the Blazers.
Well, I mean, we can do a little the betting. The segue has to do with betting. Is we were talking about my best bets. I started out 5-0 last year, but that's just because I kept taking the Blazers against the spread, and they were 5-0.
Yeah,
but the Blazers are probably not a profitable team to bet on these days. Although, if you took them Raptors money, or you took them money line against the Raptors, you'd be up some units.
Maybe Grizzlies was must.
I mean, if you took Blazers money line each game, would you? It'd be close. Blazers like plus.
We were at worst like plus 250 against the Raptors at worst. No shot. We were lower than that. Probably was like closer to plus 200.
Yeah, but even like the Grizzlies game.
Grizzlies was probably like plus 150 since we were at home and they were 0-6.
Yeah. Okay.
And the Pistons are the Pistons. I know we were 3-point underdog against the Pistons.
The Pistons were like plus 150, I think.
So
150, 250, and like 180 is like it's close. It's close. We're probably like minus 0.45.
And then 8 losses or 7 losses.
We're 3-7, guys. We are
put a unit on every game.
I think once January rolls around, I think I'll incorporate a new segment called Cooper Flag Watch. I'm kidding. He's got a year at college first.
It'll be Ron Holland Watch.
Or
Kyle Filipowski.
No. Who's the I know who it is, but I don't want to say his name.
Mateus Buzelis.
Yes.
Something like that.
I didn't want to butcher it.
I don't know. Cooper Flag is actually kind of scary.
What do you mean? Like he's really good?
No, like look, he's just kind of scary.
And what do you mean?
He's like just from Maine, and he just doesn't sound like he's from Maine. He sounds like he's from Zone 6 in Atlanta.
Well,
I'm just being honest.
Yeah, well, that's because
but like he's scary.
You're a product of your environment.
He says it.
Probably all his friends are just legit hoopers.
Yeah.
I'm not. That's all I'll say about that.
Yeah.
Anything else about Skylar Mays?
No, final thing I'll do is plug our TikTok because maybe you would enjoy that. And if you don't want to go to our TikTok, you can watch it on Shorts instead. We've been posting some shorts, just more NBA content, especially just with the Blazers. We were already going to kind of start to expand a little bit to more non-Blazer content, but I think it's warranted even more with the fact that the Blazers aren't as good this year and there's less to talk about. So We will always have the weekly podcast every week. Don't worry about that.
You're
But and over the course of the season, as things get a little more interesting, we'll definitely incorporate some more individual videos as well. Those aren't completely gone. You're not going to see game by game recaps. I'm sorry. I don't think you want to see that. Especially 2-hour ones. But it's just the reality this year of the Blazers. If it all leads to a championship in 2 years, who gives? But all in all, go follow our TikTok. Go follow our TikTok. Go follow our. I guess you're already here, so watch our shorts as well, and check out Waking Up with West.
Yeah, check out Waking Up with West,
especially on Friday because I'll be joining the show. We're doing some college football picks. We'll be doing some just absolute. We'll just be some gamers.
Yeah, honestly, I'm thinking Friday, like not even talking about the Blazers.
Football Friday.
I think we literally it's Football Friday, and we literally the first half of the show is we're picking college football games and we pick NFL games.
And we're some ripping our best bets.
Yeah, best bets against spread, player props. I will say it's funny how CJ Stroud has just been like from a narrative perspective, just cooking Bryce Young, but Bryce Young's win is against CJ Stroud. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, the Panthers, other than that Texans win, have not covered the spread once this year.
That is not profitable.
You can go back and look at my Instagram story on my personal Instagram account and see that I tagged CJ Stroud when we got the first overall pick. So I was always wanted CJ Stroud.
Crazy.
I'll still support Bryce. But thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys in the next podcast. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace out.